Mr. Secretary, I know you want to see our farmers prosper. I want to see our farmers prosper. It appears that, and of course, to prosper, our farmers need labor. And it appears that many of the people who are new to our country want to work as farm laborers. And that's a good thing. And I know there's shortages in that respect. And it seems to me that we ought to figure out a way to work together to achieve that end. The problem, as you know, is our immigration policy. And normally I ask questions, but I just want to spend a second telling you where I'm coming from. I don't completely understand it. Our border's not secure. It's less secure today than it was in December. I think if you go down there, you'll see that. I think we could secure it. You know, Americans have done extraordinary things. We can unravel the human genome. You know, we can take a diseased human heart and replace it with a new one and make it beat. We can send a person to the moon. I suspect we can secure the border. And it seems to me until we do, or certainly get it more secure than it is now, that amnesty is not going to pass in the United States Senate. And here's what perplexes me. If many of my friends who don't support securing the border, not all of them, but many of them, say that vetting people at the border is racist. Now, I think it's prudent, and I think most Americans think it's prudent. But I could understand the racist charge. I wouldn't agree with it, but I could understand it if we didn't have such a robust legal immigration program. We admit about 1 million of our world's neighbors to America every year to become citizens, more than any other country. So, and we make a clear distinction between legal and illegal immigration. And I think most Americans think legal immigration is good and illegal immigration is bad. And it's not because they're racist. I think most Americans see our border as sort of America's front door. And most Americans lock their own front door at night. They don't do that because they hate everybody on the outside. They do that because they love the people on the inside, and they want to know who's coming into their home. They don't want to just keep everybody out. They just want to know who's coming into their home. And that's the way I look at the border, and I don't understand why we can't do that. And I know it's not in your purview, but I just don't understand why the Biden administration doesn't, for example, re-implement the Remain in Mexico program. Of course, Mexico, if you ask them, says we don't like it. But if we trade hard with them, they'll do it. And it does work. It can stem the flow.
Senator, can I ask you a question about what you just said?
Sure.
Several speakers have suggested that this is about amnesty, and I'm puzzled by that. And the reason I'm puzzled by it is this. I used to practice, and I know you were a lawyer, I think, by training. Is that right? I used to practice in a small town, did a little criminal work. Guy would come in, be charged with some petty crime, would go in front of the magistrate. Magistrate would say to me, look, here's the deal. If your guy pays a fine, pays court costs, we'll put him on probation and we'll let him go. Now, I didn't perceive that to be amnesty. I perceived that to be a system that basically created some mechanism for acknowledging wrongdoing providing something of value in our criminal justice system is either you provide your time by being locked away, or you pay a fine, or in some cases you do both.
Yes, sir.
So when this bill provides for the payment of a fine of $1,000, I don't quite understand why we're talking about amnesty.
Okay.
So can you help me
Sure.
understand that?
Is that okay, Mr. Chairman?
Briefly.
Because it is amnesty. And I think most Americans see it as amnesty. I see it as amnesty. They see it as you came into our country illegally. You didn't follow the law, as many people do, get in line, wait their turn, fill out the forms. And now, by just paying a fine, you get to jump the line.
No.
And they also know what is going on at the border right now, and people are pouring across. There are a lot of reasons for it, but I know it could be slowed down. And I just think it's a practical matter and also as a principled matter. I'm not going to support any form of amnesty. You and I may disagree on the definition until I see a concerted effort to secure the border. And clearly, there isn't one. I've been down there, Mr. Secretary. If you go down, you'll see. Now, I don't know the reason for it. I don't know whether it's politics or what, but I know we could do better because in December we were.
But yet, even though that was the case, there was no effort in the Senate to pass this bill before.
Well, it's not just as simple as saying, well, the border, we had done a better job in December. The American people, this is what the American people want to see. First of all, they don't trust Washington. There's a reason that you and I and all of us in Washington, D.C. and part of government poll right up there with skim milk. The American people don't trust us. And they want to see a border secured. They want to see a good faith effort on both sides to make sure it's secured for an extended period of time. Yes, the border was more secure in December than it is now, and no fair-minded person can disagree with that. But many of my Democratic friends completely bashed every chance they got the Trump administration for doing that. And so there was no feeling among the American people that this is going to be sustained. I think if we had a bipartisan effort to really secure the border as best we can for a sustained period of time, you would see the American people very sympathetic to a discussion of amnesty and drafting an immigration policy that looks like somebody designed it on purpose.
Thank you.
Thank you for your indulgence, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for being here, Mr. Secretary.